I thought it would be fun if you came along and budgeted with me. My husband was paid yesterday on October 15th. Just a little bit about me and our family. We are a family of 4 living in the Houston, Texas area. I work for myself. I run my own business. I pay myself once a month. So I pay myself on the last day of the month, meaning that we are only going to be looking at my husband's paycheck. He is paid 2 times a month. So he's paid once on the 15th and again on the last day of the month. He is an elementary music teacher here in a Texas public school. So we're gonna look at his paycheck. I highly recommend budgeting for every single paycheck. What that means is instead of starting your budget on October 1st and ending it on the last day of the month, start your budget on the day you are paid. To me, it just makes a lot more sense. Like, why would I start a budget in the middle of my pay cycle? So this is exactly how we budget. We've been doing this for 14 years. It's helped us pay off over $100,000 of debt on 2 teacher salaries. So I promise, if you're willing to write a budget, track your spending, you will find more money than you thought you had that you can, instead of spending it on who knows what, you can send it to your money goals. So whether you're wanting to pay off credit cards or save up for a home down payment or start investing more, your budget is the way to do it. So let's look at ours. I am using the Budget My Paycheck spreadsheet. This is a spreadsheet that I created myself and I use it every single day. I absolutely love it. I'll link down below for the link to it, plus a special coupon code just for people watching on YouTube. The first thing I do is I choose my start date and my end date. My husband was paid on October 15th. That is our signal that a new budget is to begin. And our end date is going to be October 30th because that is the day before we are paid again. My husband and I will both be paid on October 31st. So because this budget only includes my husband's paycheck, this is not like a really big, hard-hitting budget period for us. I'm paid once a month. When I'm paid, my husband's also paid, and that paycheck that we get on the last day of the month covers a majority of our bills the beginning of the next month. I'm gonna scroll down here to income summary. My husband was paid $2,127.42. Now, this is a paycheck he gets 2 a month, so he makes over $4,000 a month as a teacher. However, this is after our taxes, insurance, all of that has been taken out. So this is the money that actually hits his account. Because I own my own business, I'm on his insurance, and let me tell you, it is expensive to have a spouse on your insurance. Hundreds of dollars comes out of this paycheck just for our family's insurance, and I'm the one that makes it really expensive. Sorry. We also max out our HSA through his paycheck. So hundreds of dollars is also coming out of his paycheck before taxes to go into a health savings account for investing and medical bills, all of that stuff. So he did get paid. I also transfer over $132 from Venmo. I had some money sitting in my Venmo account. I don't like it sitting there, so I transferred that over and you'll see that here. When I look at the cash flow summary, you can see that we did have a rollover. So the day before he was paid, we had $26.51 in our checking account. I know that seems like it's not a lot of money, but we track every single dollar. We knew we were getting paid the next day. We were fine with that much money. Anyway, let's go over to our fixed expenses. I know I mentioned this earlier, but we pay a majority of our bills and a majority of our expenses at the beginning of the month because we have 2 paychecks coming in. We have my husband paid again, and I'm paid for the entire month. You're gonna see that not everything is going to be filled out in this budget spreadsheet because those bills have already been paid, that money has already gone there. We do have Netflix coming out for $19.47. We have our cell phones are $55. We switched from Verizon, where we were paying almost $200 a month, to Visible. Now we pay $55 a month. My husband's cell phone bill is $25, and then my son, his cell phone bill, he's 13 years old, is $30 because he has a cell phone and an Apple Watch that can call. So he can call on his Apple Watch. My cell phone bill, my $25 cell phone bill, is paid from my business because I use my phone for my business. so it's a business expense. Our home security is $33.62. We do have Petco Vital Care, which is essentially a monthly membership. It gives us discounts. We get money in like Petco dollars. For us, it works out. We actually save more than the monthly cost, but that's $19.99. Hulu and Disney Plus is $32.46. I know this price is about to go up. And then we have Apple charges for $22. These are little subscriptions, things like that. I don't think it's going to be $22. This is just what I had the previous budget period, so it might change. Moving over to variable expenses. These are the ones that change based off of our own habits. We don't owe electricity right now. That will come out the next budget period. Our water and trash is $110.80. Gas for our home, that is $34.54. This covers our heater, but we're in Texas and haven't used it yet, but it also covers our water heater. So that's for our water heater. We budget $200 a week for groceries. This does not include paper goods like paper towels, toilet paper, cleaning supplies. We get all of that from Costco, and we just made a Costco run like last week, so we don't need to make another one in the next 2 weeks. And when I look at the calendar, I can see that we're going to need to buy groceries this weekend and next weekend, so we have 2 weeks of groceries to buy before we're paid again. That's how I got $400. We're also budgeting $150 for restaurants. We don't go out to eat often. However, we buy donuts every Saturday, and then typically on Fridays, my husband will pick up food on the way home and we eat at home together, but we are trying to cook at home more. I just saw this really long TikTok video about how like all of the restaurants are serving the same food from these major distributors. So you're just basically getting the same frozen food just served up and cooked in a different location. I watched that with my husband and it made me really not want to go out to eat anymore. Unless I'm going to a place where it's like local and I know that they're not ordering frozen food. $150 for restaurants, that's probably more than we're actually going to spend. Then $100 for gas for our cars. I honestly don't think we even need $100. I work from home. I don't drive often and I have almost a full tank. My husband works less than 4 miles from home, and sometimes he even rides his electric bike to work. So I don't think that we're going to spend $100 in gas, but this gives us each like maybe one fill up. We can each fill up our tank once. So I like to plan for that just in case. Shopping is $100. This is specifically Amazon shopping. Whenever I run out of something like hair gel or certain things I get on Amazon, I'm putting some money there for that. We do have a car wash membership. I know it seems silly. My husband takes both of our cars every single week and puts them through the car wash and cleans them all out and makes them happy. So that's $23 for his car. I pay my car a different time of the month, $46 a month. We pay for car wash memberships. And don't come for me. Don't come for me. I don't do my nails. I don't dye my hair. Like I'm not paying to get my hair cut. I don't do fake lashes. Like this is where we like to spend our money. We want nice, clean cars. Next is kids activities for $150. This is specifically for my son's piano lessons. And then my other son rents an instrument for band. We do have a housekeeper that comes every other week. Let me tell you, this is one of my favorite line items in my budget. I will get rid of everything else I possibly can before cutting out my housekeeper. It's actually 2 women. They come every other week. I pay them $120 and it is amazing. They do an incredible job. I always look forward to the days that they come, and I refuse to cook that day because my house is clean and I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to make my kitchen smell gross. So I do have $120 set aside for them. I pull that money out in cash and I leave it on our front table for them on the day that they come. I'm budgeting $120 for pets because my dog is getting groomed tomorrow and it's expensive. And then I'm including a $100 buffer. This is just some breathing room in our budget, so that way if one area of our budget goes over budget, we end up spending more at the grocery store, the buffer can kind of absorb those extra costs. Okay, moving over to savings. We're actually not putting a lot of money in savings during this budget period. We do a majority of our savings at the beginning of the month whenever we both get paid. However, we do send $300 a month to our kids' college fund. We have 2 kids, so each of them gets $150 in their 529. We have been doing this for a really long time. And let me tell you, I logged into their account recently and I was shocked to see that they have a significant amount of money. We take any windfalls we get sometimes and we'll put that in there, but combined together, we have over $100,000 in their college fund. So about $50,000 each. That got me really excited. Small amounts add up. When you put it in a 529, it's invested wisely, and it makes me a little bit less scared about them going to college. We still have a ways to go. My oldest son is 13, my youngest son is 11, so we're gonna keep on saving. Moving over to debt payments, we are debt free other than our home. We are still working on paying off our home, but our cars are paid off. We don't have any personal loans. However, we still do use our credit cards. Every Friday, I typically go in and I pay off our credit cards. We don't use them too often, but my husband did have a $256 balance on his credit card, and then I had a $40 balance on my credit card, which was from toll roads. I paid those off, and then when we go all the way back over to my cash flow summary, you will see that we have $99.05 left over. If I wanted to make this a zero-based budget, I could take that $99.05 and put it somewhere in my budget. I could send it to my emergency fund. I could add it to my buffer. I could, I don't know, do whatever I wanted with that money. However, I'm just gonna leave it like this. I feel good about this. What I will do is every day I will log my transactions so that way I can make adjustments during the next 2 weeks as we go. So if we end up overspending on restaurants, I can change our budget to where it's $200 instead of $150. The wonderful thing about this is that I can make changes throughout the next 2 weeks. The goal here for me is to have a system that I look forward to working on, which I do. I look forward to working in this, and have a system that is consistent, that I can stick with consistently. I don't just do this once and then come back 3 months later and look at it, and to have a system that works for us. We've been using this specific spreadsheet for over a year, and I will never, ever go back to anything else. Thank you for joining me for my budget. And if you want a link to this spreadsheet, I'll link it down below. Let me know what questions you have about our budget or spending in general. I'd love to answer them.